Hi everyone, my name is Carol. I've always been sick of the rules at my school, as well as the school itself. It's hard to live in a world where you don't belong, right? Where people like me are forced to survive, forced to live by a system invented by someone richer or with more connections. People like me have always been called trash, just because I don't walk around in brand name clothes, not with the latest iPhone. But who's to blame that my father is forced to work 3 jobs and at the same time still receive an order of magnitude less than the parents of these monsters? You say it's not money that spoils people? Then what is it? It was money that invented the new rules in school. Money bought the principal and all the teachers. Money, man, and its absence means scum. At my school, it all started with the arrival of Jessica Deal. She and her daddy bought everything here very quickly. Her dad abruptly became the biggest contributor and the only one. The school was given a successful evaluation even before the inspection. The principal was given a couple of suitcases of money, and all for Jessica to be the queen here. Now it was the rich bitch who wrote the rules, and anyone who disobeyed was punished. I came to school a few days later after she did. I was sick, and on the doorstep I noticed a strange pink creature. She stood there in a dress like a cake and looked at every student. When she saw me, she said, "Hey, wait, where are you going to? To school? Didn't they teach you to say hello properly?" "Who are you?" "Weren't you in class? Teddy, check the list." Teddy's her loyal sidekick, the gay guy. He had a diamond earring in his ear, worth more than my dad and me. "What's your name?" "And who are you?" "See, I'm the president here now, and I'm instituting new rules that we're going to study under." "Who gave you that right?" Obviously you weren't here. Teddy, clarify." She stood there looking so smug while her 6th grade classmates bawled me out. I was handed some kind of dress code sheet. What days of the week to wear what color, what words you can use, what words you can't, what to eat, where to go out, and with whom. It was all spelt out. I tore up the paper and went inside. Jessica shouted something to me, something like, "People like you will break anyway." I went straight to the principal's office. Our Mr. Sand was sitting in his new leather chair. He jumped when I walked in without knocking. "Who gave her the right to be president and make stupid rules?" "Oh, Carol, calm down. You weren't here. She's a new student. Her dad is a big sponsor of the school, and we're doing everything for your own good. New computers, renovations in the cafeteria, new teaching aids, internet, and even tablets." "I don't care. I'm against this new girl's new rules. Whether it's your sponsor or the school's, I don't care. I'm not going to obey this girl's rules." "Come on, it could be worse for you." "What? Why do you say that?" "Everyone else only saw the upside of her presence. Did you have lobster for lunch? She'll feed you. All you have to do is follow a few of her little rules, and that's it." "I'm not for sale." With those words, I closed the door, but there were a couple of bums waiting for me on the way. They handed me another notice from Jessica to change my mind, but I tore the paper up just like the previous one. The bums retreated. Behind them stood Jessica. "Rebellious." "Back off. Whether you want to or not, you have to obey the general rules, honey. Or else." "Or else what?" "Your life will be a living hell." "You think just because you have a lot of money you can make fun of everybody?" "You're like my pets. I love you. I reward you. I feed you. And all I ask in return is that you obey me. That's all. Even the principal understood it once." I turned my head and saw my classmates standing along the corridor, all dressed in blue. One of the boys was even wearing a skirt. "Ryan, are you wearing a skirt?" He just put his head down. "Hey, what are you doing?" "Just follow the rules and you'll be fine." "Are you kidding me? You're in a skirt, dude." "Everyone here is happy with everyone but you. This is my last warning, Carol." Jessica pulled out some kind of blue dress in front of me and said, "Put it on." I slapped her on the arm and said, "Fuck you." "That's what I thought. I don't like being disobeyed. You guys, get on it." She said this as she walked away, and immediately raw eggs were piled on top of me. Everyone was throwing at me. I used my hands to shield my face, and I could only see Ryan. He was throwing too. He was ashamed, but he did it anyway. He'd already forgotten how I'd saved him from a crowd of boys from a neighboring school, how they tried to beat him up, but I hit him. He'd already forgotten all about it. I got pelted to the point where there wasn't a dry spot left. I wanted to run to the bathrooms and wash up, but they wouldn't let me use the toilet. I wanted to go home, but they also blocked my exit, so I had to go to class like that. The teacher pretended that everything was fine and didn't even pay any attention to me. During lunch, a group of people came to school, and they brought a royal lunch for everyone. Everyone ate gourmet food from a restaurant, including the staff, and everyone was happy, except for me. They wouldn't even let me in. So I went through the whole day without food or water, with dried eggs on my head and clothes. After school, I ran home and hurried to wash and change my clothes so my father wouldn't see. But my dad called and said he was going to be late from work. Immediately, the doorbell rang. Who is it? I thought. I went over and said, "Who is it?" and was told it was a pizza delivery guy. I opened the door and said I hadn't ordered anything, and then someone's hand shoved me. Jessica and her bunch of slaves walked in, including Ryan. I tried to kick them out, but Jessica told me I couldn't get away with disobedience, and then my classmates trashed my house. They broke all the dishes, tore my clothes, and left. My dad and I wrote reports to the police, but they managed to bribe them too. Then we tried to get my papers from the school so that I could go to another one, but they wouldn't let us. Jessica wanted me to get my share of humiliation until I broke. No one heard me. Lack of money disenfranchises you, doesn't it? You'll say that my house suffered because of my principles, but I'll say that it's what helped my father and I to survive and not rot in the system of depreciation. After they left, I cleaned up the house, and I made a plan. A revenge plan for Jessica and everyone around her. The next morning, I arrived at school in white, according to schedule. Jessica was smiling. "There you go, you're finally an obedient girl. Come on in. I wish you'd done this yesterday." I put on a smile and sat down at my desk in class. Ryan came up to me. "You okay? I wish I was. It's getting better. We're getting food and overall..." "Back off." "What? Are you offended?" "Fuck off. I'm not covering your ass anymore. You know that." "Come on, it's just rules. But what are the terms?" "You're a bent bastard, okay?" "Take it easy. I could complain about you." "To your mama?" "So, what's happening?" "It's fine, we're just talking." "Okay, well, for lunch today we're having steaks and pomegranate juice." After class, everyone went to wash their hands in the restroom. At that time, I found juice jugs and slipped some stuff in there for everyone. I did not drink the juice. I drank the water I'd brought with me. After 20 minutes, Berta, our classmate, was in pain in her stomach. She fell on the floor and started screaming that she was in so much pain. Everyone was frightened, but then, one by one, they fell like dominoes. I sat and watched it all in silence. Jessica was panicking. So were the teachers. Everyone was screaming, asking me to call an ambulance. I got up on the table and said, "You're all going to die now." "What? What did you say?" "You've been poisoned. I slipped you something. You know, and the only people who drank and ate were those who agreed with your rules. Right, Jessica? You don't even consider us human. What do you call us? Your pets? Doesn't that humiliate you?" I shouted loudly into the crowd, but no one heard me. I stood there pleased with myself, and Jessica, clutching at her stomach, came up to me. We got into a fight, but no one helped her out. I managed to punch her in the face a couple of times in no time. I wanted to overthrow her. I wanted her to disappear. Then the principal came into the cafeteria and freaked out. He pulled us apart, but Jessica fell away. They were all sick. The paramedics and the police came to us. They took me to the station. I told the truth about slipping them all a substance that caused stomach pain. There was no poison, though. They called my father in, too. We were victims, but we were made enemies. The bribed cops wrote exorbitant fines. The school children got their stomachs pumped and went home, but I had to pay for my principles. I was sent to a mental institution for involuntary treatment, and my father was fired from his job. He can't even visit me. Would you say I'm lost for my principles? But no, darlings, this is just the beginning. I haven't told anyone what the effect of that drug will have after 2 months, and soon everyone will know. And you, shh, don't say a word. And then all the money in the world, all the connections won't save them. They'll hear me. They'll come to me. Ha ha ha.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa. You are probably as surprised as everyone else why everyone at school looks contempt or even envy. To be honest, I didn't know myself at first. Since the new principal came to our school, my life has changed dramatically, and this has also had a positive impact on my family. Why and how? You'll find out now. There was a history lesson. In which year did it become known about the existence of America in Europe? In 1492. Well done, Lisa. And how many states were there in America in 1776? Out of 13, ma'am. Well done, Lisa. Is there anyone else in the class besides Lisa? Or was no one else prepared? Jimmy Nelson. Please tell me, how old is our country this year? Apparently, you learn gossip better than history. Sit down, F.
Mr. Riley, may I?
Of course, Lisa. Is something wrong?
I appreciate your care and help for me and my family, but I think it's best if you treat me like everyone else.
Do your classmates tease you?
No, it's just better this way.
Well, you know I can't do that. I gave my word to your father and I can't break it.
I understand, but...
If someone says something to you, let me know. I'll figure it out.
But you'll only make it worse.
I won't. I promise to keep you safe. Go to class.
Honey, are you home?
Yes, Mom. Is there something wrong? You're so sad.
It's all about Mr. Riley.
There's too much of him in our lives, right?
That's not the right words. Because of him, they look at me askance. Who even asked him to transfer to our school?
You know, he's a military man, ex-military. And he gave his word to your father that he would take care of us. It was your dad's last wish. And Mr. Riley is a man of honor, especially since our dad once saved his life and he now owes him a huge debt.
I understand, but because of his help and care, I'm having a hard time. School kids are spreading dirty rumors about us.
I've told you 100 times that I can figure it out, but you won't let me get involved.
It's just the best if he left, or stopped singling me out.
Oh, my dear. Thanks to Mr. Riley and his help, we're staying afloat. He helps us a lot.
Come on, I'll go to school on my own, just like before.
Are you shy of me?
No, more precisely, yes.
I understand. There's a rumor going around at school. Okay, I'm sorry, it's my fault. I meant well. You know you're like a daughter to me. Your father saved my life, and I owe it to him.
I understand. Well, Lisa, can you share with us what you did to our strict director? I thought you were modest. Lisa went crazy and attacked her, grabbing her hair and screaming. Then the director came up and dispersed everyone with a whistle.
What's going on here? Who did this?
He asked, looking at the crumpled piece of paper. Everyone was silent.
Well, if you don't want to do this, it will be bad. I'll intern to my office,
said the director, and went to his room. Lisa went into the classroom and sat down to cry. Jimmy came up to her and said,
Are you satisfied? Because of your affair with the principal, we will all be punished now.
Then the history teacher came in.
Jimmy Nelson, take back your words. I won't.
Lisa jumped up from her seat and started shouting at the whole class. What do you know about this? Your father is alive, but mine isn't. The director was his only friend who he trusted me and my mother with, and now he takes care of us. Nelson looked down. Everyone was shocked. There was a moment of silence in the classroom, and then Jimmy cleared his throat and said,
I'm sorry, Lisa. We didn't know.
Of course you didn't. You made your own conclusions.
I'm sorry about your father. He was on duty somewhere far away, wasn't he?
He was. And then we got the news that he was gone. That evening, when I came home, I told my mother everything.
Maybe I should figure it out anyway.
I can't just sit back and let you get hurt like that. I understand, Mom. But if you do, it will be another reason for humiliation. In high school, it's like this, so I'll have to sort it out myself. Besides, I think the director did your job. I don't even want to think about what's waiting for me tomorrow. It made me laugh. Jimmy and Emily came forward, said they were ashamed of their behavior, apologized for the paper, and asked me to accept their gifts.
Listen, Lisa, I didn't know about your father. You know, that you lost him so recently. I didn't mean to offend you. Sorry.
Yes, we wrote that piece of paper, and we were ashamed. The director told us briefly what and how. In general, this will not happen again. Forgive us, everyone. Okay, I'm sorry, I said, and let them in. The shocked mother sat with us for a while and then went to her room, while the boys and I stayed in the living room.
I talked about my father, what he was like, where he served, showed them his medals and photos with Mr. Riley. The boys were loudly discussing his mustache and military uniform. I never thought he was so caring. Once, because I was late, he made me do 2 push-ups in the office 20 times. 20! I only did 3 and then lay down on the carpet face down. He took pity and let me go. All the guys started laughing and continued chatting. Tell me, did you guys like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Do not forget to put likes, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.